Hello. Welcome to Dreamweaver. Not sure what Dreamweaver is? Well, I'll invite you into an intimate look to find all about this book. My name is Kirsten Weeks, and I'll be your host this evening. Now, this is the evolution of Dreamweaver, which is stated as 7 steps to delivering your dreams by author Crystal Dawn Church. I invite you to stop, listen, pause, and trust the process. Trust me, you'll know what I mean in a little bit. So I'm here with Crystal Dawn Church, author Crystal Dawn Church. How does that feel?
Well, it feels surreal. It feels like victorious because I wanted to quit many times. It's a much more difficult process than you could ever dream.
You did it.
I did it.
You did it, and here we are to release it.
Whew. What a ride, what a ride.
Definitely. So one thing I noticed in reading your book is you have a quick quote that I think has stuck with me, and it's called "Trust the process." So what is trusting the process?
It's that simple, oftentimes agitating statement that makes the most sense, where when you're pushing too hard, you stop, delay, trust the process. When things feel like everything is going wrong, you look at the gift and you trust the process. And from there, usually the universe, God, whatever your belief system is, lines things right out for you. And I think it's really hard to trust the process.
So we're going to trust the process tonight, right?
We're going to trust the process tonight. It's going to be perfect.
In the evolution of Dreamweaver, Crystal had a lot of help and a lot of support in her tribe. Crystal now sits down with Amy, who endorses the book.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Thanks for joining me today. I'm super excited for you to read your endorsement of my book.
Yes, very exciting.
Yes. Super. So go for it whenever you're ready.
Okay. Crystal Church takes readers on a brilliantly woven journey into the adversity of life that, when embraced, leads to powerful breakthroughs and realizations. Working with Crystal through this process as a powerful woman leader, I learned that I can be vulnerable and express my willingness to acknowledge need for personal growth. I have the ability to create a plan that is fluid and thoughtful in order to be successful upon implementation. This book is an exclusive look into the Dreamweaver process that I chose into, an opportunity to interact with the chapters and steps to begin your own breakthroughs.
Wow. I remember the first time I read that, I was like, wow, what a cool and great representation of the book and the experience that we had together in the Dreamweaver process. And I'm forever grateful to you because you, as the CEO of the Chamber, were the very first to go through that comprehensive experience with your board and with your staff, and then you individually. And then, of course, it was my honor to trust you to read the book. What would you say to readers, without giving anything away, of course, was one of your biggest takeaways in reading the book?
You know, along with the steps that are very pinpointed in this book, you have to be prepared yourself to really deep dive and express at the end result what you're wanting to grow from this. Personally, I did not know what to expect. I was hesitant in a lot of the steps when we actually went through, but coming back and reading your books, it was like the aha moments happened again. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah, I think people just need to be in that right frame of mind to prepare themselves to dive deep.
Right. That gave me goosebumps because it really explains that the evolution of Dreamweaver is the story part, and then the 7 steps to delivering on your dreams is how you put it into action. So it's a twofold book, definitely. Yeah. Well, again, I appreciate you so much. I love that being a local here in this community with me, your endorsement lives in my first book forever.
Exciting, very exciting.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
So you have a self-proclaimed title as Chief Dreamer.
Chief Dreamweaver.
Dreamweaver.
Yes.
So Chief Dreamweaver. And I would like to ask you, who is Dreamweaver for?
Well, Dreamweaver is for people who are ready to step out of victim mindset, and embrace all of the challenges in life, walk through them, and become their best selves. And I think I'm going to read this part right here. I think this is a good time.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, Dreamweaver, moi, believes that only with a victim-free mindset and feeling worthy can we create the life of our dreams. So important, you know. And Dreamweaver is for dreamers who want to start a new career or add a side hustle. Boom, done that. Dreamers dreaming of new businesses or starting a dreamy nonprofit. Dreamers who have projects that need to be completed. Dreamers who have fitness goals to reach. Dreamers who have relationships to strengthen. College students preparing to graduate and dreaming of their careers. We have a theme word going here.
I think it's nap, or is it dream?
Nap, that's it, yes, yes. High school students dreaming of their next steps after graduation. Dreamers who want to determine their dream, which is a big one.
It is.
People often say, well, I don't have a dream. Perfect, there's your dream. Businesses dreaming of increasing employee morale, retention, and productivity. Teams dreaming of creating amazing camaraderie and bonding. Families working on deeper connection through understanding and supporting each other's dreams. That one's huge. Post-secondary education, entities looking to support students in making all of their dreams come true.
So based on your list, it sounds like to me that Dreamweaver's for people.
People, yep.
People, I got it, right?
Yep, you got it, people.
So I think people are probably watching this. Maybe a few dogs.
Yeah,
couple
maybe.
cats. Yeah, who knows? Maybe that's a whole new venture for you. So you list 7 steps.
Yes.
So you mentioned 7 steps to delivering on your dreams. What are those steps?
Well, we've got dream, declare. I'm cheating off of you.
That's fine.
I get a little nervous.
That's okay.
Design, document, detail, delay, and then 7 is delivery.
Sounds good. And in a little bit, we'll go over and break each of those down so everybody can understand what they all offer.
Okay.
So as I read the book a little bit, I did find that I appreciated you having different sets of eyes, as in the reader can see through the lenses of not just you. I feel that everybody needs to hear your story. So I welcome you to find that in the book. I think you'll really enjoy it. One other thing, I found that you listed that Dreamweaver was a safe space. And what do you mean when you say safe space?
You just gave me goosebumps. So me, when I'm in Dreamweaver role, the most important thing for me to do instantly is create that safe space between myself and client. And of course, the practice run in life is with our kids,
Right.
and our friends and our families. And so it comes from not being in judgment. Like, you're going to feel safe if you know that I'm listening to hear your words, not judge what you say. And I listen to listen.
Right.
Not listen to speak, because what you say to me is much more important than anything else.
Well, and I think as humans, we have an unfortunate trait of listening to answer and not listening to listen. And active listening is a tool that a lot of us have to learn. So you mentioned a few moments ago about the victim, the traumas, victim mode. And I found it quite sweet that your mission statement came out of a peer video where one of your readers that's mentioned in the book, Marlene, said to you, quote, "Only with the victim-free mindset and feeling worthy can I choose my life." And according to the book, you went, that's it. That's the mission statement right there.
Right.
And it's interesting to have the author welcome a mission statement, not from themselves.
Right.
That someone else delivered that to you.
Well, and that's the evolution part, right? This all kind of just has been happening on the fly. And I had different mission statements floating around, but when I heard Marlene say that, And with her conviction, I was like, that's it. I mean, that really is it, because the light bulb came on and she thought, oh my gosh. It wasn't until I realized I've been being a victim all this time that I could move it out of the way and move forward with my dreams.
And I think it's always a nod to your work with somebody when the client is telling you what it is that's in your head, especially if they haven't been in that integral part of the development. So it goes to show that the book offers a space for each of us to identify, but also offers a space for us to decide what you're saying.
Wow, you just really make this sound pretty amazing.
It was a good read.
That's exactly what I did. I love it. I love it.
So with that and the trauma mode and the victim mentality, since we're on that subject, you know, one line that really I had stand out to me in the book was, and this is you speaking, you said, "My life changed because I said yes to me." I'll say that again. I said yes to me. Is that one of the moments in your life that changed everything?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, because I realized that I am not the victim. Like, life happens to us and we can choose to identify with all of the things that happen to us, or we can identify with, I am Crystal, Chief Dreamweaver, and life is happening for me. So then it's a really simple shift in language. However, it did really change everything for me.
So a little bit ago, we went over the 7 steps. Dream, declare, design, document, detail, delay, and delivery.
Yes.
Let's start with 1 and 2. Could you give me a definition of dream?
Definitely. So dream, having a dream, finding a dream, and choosing, of course, to be a dreamweaver. That's step 1. And then step 2 is declaring it. Saying it out loud, having hope and faith that you can do it, and be really honest with yourself in the process.
Great. Design and document.
So with design, it's about taking responsibility for what you want to create and design, making a move, right? Moving it from dream to doing something actionable.
Great.
It's really important.
Perfect.
And then document, right?
Right.
So that's the next level accountability, where you really embrace your creativity to get it down, however you get it down. Speak it, say it, read it, write it, whatever it takes to document it.
Great. As we delve into the book a little bit further, we're going to spend some time talking with those who had a little part in the book coming to fruition. I'd like to first introduce Ori. Ori and Crystal will have an intimate look into her part in the book.
Well, thanks for coming, Ori. I'm so excited. So I picked out a passage from your portion of the book, and I've got you all bookmarked and ready to go. And right before you speak, I say, Ori is a woman on a mission to find happiness. Freaking amazing, which is perfect to lead into the reason why you say
that. It's because of Dreamweaver. I was able to own my story and voice it with respect to myself. I started the Dreamweaver process a week after I moved out and decided to get divorced. I have been able to uncover many layers of myself. Realizations and thoughts keep coming, and I have been able to sit down and see what my authentic life is. I see who I am and started down that path of authenticity. Therefore, I say there are not enough words to describe what you do. I now see what I can do with my life.
I'm proud to know you. I love the menagerie of the people gathered in my book to include you, and I'm excited at the thought of each and every one of everybody's stories as we all move forward as our best selves. And I think what's really important to mention is, as a coach, taking people through the Dreamweaver process, the 7 steps to delivering on your dreams, is just as much of an impact to me. It keeps me, leveling up as well. And then watching everybody blow up their lives is so inspiring. So I know I asked you to come up with whatever it is that you wanted to say, so I'm just gonna let you go.
For me, step 6, the delay, has been the most profound, eye-opening portion. I've been a successful business owner for over 20 years, and I feel I could have been more successful earlier on if I had the Dreamweaver process earlier. And for step 6 specifically, it makes you take a look at who you are and how your accountability with how you're moving forward. And I think that for me, I'm always moving forward and always wanting to do something more. And I didn't have that step of holding myself accountable, so I would sort of just like flit off to the next thing without fully finishing what I had been working on. And with the Dreamweaver process, I have so much self-respect now that I can look at myself objectively and hold myself accountable, and therefore move forward more quickly and easier. And I'm going places. Thank you for that.
Yeah, wow, that's inspiring. Oh, that's incredible. There's nothing more to be said. I mean, that's what it's all about, and I'm so grateful to you. Thank you.
And rounding out the 7 steps, we have 5, 6, and 7, detail, delay, and delivery. Did you want to define those for us?
Definitely. So in the details is the self-awareness, really owning you, choosing you, right? The self-love and the self-worth. The delay is about having patience, just what it says, delay, and the power of the pause, which I will say is been difficult for me. And all of those together are the delivery. And I think what's really important with the delivery, which is a bit of what we're doing here, is to give back.
Right.
Once you've done it and you've declared it, like, give back. You know, make it help someone else along their journey.
Well, and I think when someone reaches a level of saying yes to themselves and putting in the hard work, it organically comes out of them because they are seeing the world in a different way. Yeah. And the first word out of their mouth isn't grumbly of, oh, this happened to me, woe is me. It's, hey, I made these changes. Look at me, I'm proud of myself. Right. And I think that is what snowballs, and why in your own family, it's proven that mom made changes. Adult children can make changes. Future adult children, because they're still younger, can see those changes and forever have the landscape laid out. And so I encourage anybody to look at these 7 steps, start off by contacting you and having them declare, I'm ready to do this.
Right, absolutely.
This lens to, it's a process. Right?
Yeah.
And we're back to trusting the process. And there is a power in pause, as you talk about. So I know a lot of us get ambitious. I'm guilty of it. And you think, oh, I'm going to do everything tonight. And I'm going to have a year's worth of this done by midnight.
Right.
And in reality, it's taking that step back, looking at the process, trusting the process, and then the power of the pause. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, and just what you were talking about, I do that same thing where I get, you know, I would call it a work high, you know, when I was at home working, and oftentimes I would do things that weren't necessary, wasting time and energy. And one of the things that I talk about in my work is time bending and task weaving. That's what it is, that when you stop and you pause, you can really feel. That's what this whole book is about, feeling what it is that is necessary, and then my mind lays it out in this linear timeline, and I can see, okay, this happens, then this happens, then this happens. And when I feel like I'm pushing, I have a whole group of friends that are like, do you need to plan the delay? Are you pushing so hard that you can't see what you need to do? Or maybe you're pushing so hard your creativity's stifled, you can't hear what's next.
Right.
And I will hands down say that the delay is the hardest. Because I just want to go, push, you know, hustle.
Yeah.
When really it's about being in the flow.
Yeah, because I think sometimes when you put the work down, that's when the work actually happens.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the book will really solidify, and the consulting that you do to support that. I mean, the book is a tool. It is not a Bible per se. It's a step-by-step ideal of the work you can put in and that you offer to help somebody put in. And so I really want to thank you for doing that. You've done that for so many people, even before the book was written. And I know that I will say thanks on their part from me, because I know there's many that would like to thank you for that. And while we're talking about that, this is just a series of books. This is 1 in 3, isn't it?
Ideally 4.
Oh, really? This is news to me.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So there's the evolution of Dreamweaver, and in this book, I bring my 2 adult children in, and so out of that will evolve their story and what it looks like from their perspective moving forward in life with Dreamweaver as their mom. And it'll really give people a glimpse into what does this evolution of people up-leveling and stepping into their best selves look like, and what does that look like multi-generationally?
Which I think is a brilliant idea. I think we can read as many self-help books. We can, follow you on Facebook and watch your videos and listen to the inspiring words. But to really break down and make it a vulnerable, intimate moment on your part, to literally expose your faults that have lent to your children and your children's children, and that could lend further without stopping cycles.
Right.
And I think as the reader, I'm really excited to hear what changed for them.
Right.
And it all started with them saying yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
'Cause they didn't have to. Your mom, the first thing they probably said was no.
Right. What are you thinking?
And they're like, I guess I'll appease mom for this 2-week process.
Right.
And then they've changed completely. I've seen the transformation.
It's incredible.
It is.
I'm like, wow.
And I think that's the highest compliment. When your own children have made such monumental changes in their lives, you know it works.
Well, it's be the change you wish to see in the world. It's the dropping of the pebble in the water and watching the ripple effects.
Yep.
And whatever the story was that led to this place doesn't even matter anymore.
Right. And that's why I think if you read this book, you'll definitely be looking for the now 4, apparently.
Yes.
You added to my homework.
Yes.
A book couldn't be complete unless your family members have a say in it, right? So here's a look at Crystal speaking with her children, Alex and Tyler, in regards to what they've learned from her book and what they've learned in their own lives and how they're moving it forward.
Well, these are my kids, 2 of my 3 kids. This is Alex, the oldest, and Tyler. And, well, first of all, thank you for doing what your mom asked you and showing up here to read out of the Dreamweaver book. I chose something from the end of the book, and I will lead us off, and then you guys can join in. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right. So, this is the final question, and then you 2 can say whatever you want. What advice would you give to other young people growing up?
Learn how to be comfortable with your own company, because with current events, we're going to be spending a lot of time by ourselves at home. And with the way the world is heading, people spend less time together in person. If you're not comfortable with your own company, you're going to be searching for something to fill the gap all the time, and that's not healthy.
Be transparent. Mom, you were brutally honest with us with a lot of things and showed us a lot of things, and you did not sugarcoat it or hide it from us. I think that no matter how hard that is, it leads to an open conversation and a dialogue in relationships. I agree with and acknowledge what Tyler said regarding being comfortable with your own company. Being honest with my feelings, especially with Tyler, is something I want to try to do more of. It is empowering to know that someone else has experienced what you're experiencing. Sometimes I'm embarrassed of the struggles or the things I have had to do in my life. Embarrassed of going to the doctor because I didn't sleep for 5 days, not being able to drive my car because of anxiety and panic. All of those things, I think, darn, my brother's probably experiencing these same things and we can help each other out. But instead, fear and pride got in the way of being able to connect on that level.
We've all talked about how we don't need anyone, how it's good to be okay with yourself and best find love within, and then how it felt to need each other. It's this weird dichotomy between needing people and being worthy of support. It's important to talk about mental health. I've struggled with mental health issues my whole life. In the book, I talk about this relationship with suicide that I thought everybody had. It was not until much later in my life that I learned that not everybody feels so distraught that they always have got an exit plan. So we get to talk about that because we are in the middle of an epidemic of mental health crises. Just like what Alex said, it helps to know people understand where you're coming from and that you're not crazy and you're not alone. You're someone experiencing dis-ease. Well, we've answered all the questions, and I feel like there is an end looming. So, what's your final thoughts? Bring this home, kids. What is the weave?
Relief. I feel relief having finished the call. I feel relief at being able to express ourselves. We express more things in this last 2 nights than maybe in my entire life. A huge relief and a lot of doors opened for different relationships.
Relief is a good word for it. I feel closer to you guys for sure.
Let's just take a little bit of a pause here while I make sure I don't cry, because I will just say that having you two be a part of this process is hands down one of the most incredible mom moments of my life. To know intimately from each of you how you really feel about me and Dreamweaver and the process gets to be forever captured in this book. And so I love you both so much, and I'm so grateful. And I think I'm going to make it through without tears leaking.
Awesome.
Love you too.
So one thing I felt as reading the book is I felt a similar connection to the grandma you mentioned. There was something about what you described about her and her integral part in your life that I think a lot of us can relate to. And I wanted to read a little blurb that you had in the book. You said, "My grandma had a gentle way of showing me lessons through my life. Oftentimes, it was not ever about what she said. It was how she was present and listened and found the gems of happiness no matter what."
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I never had the pleasure of meeting this woman, and I feel like I know her.
Yeah. And when I was thinking back to my childhood with her, I was trying to think of quotes that I could come up with, and that's when I realized it never was about what she said. And I would think back to time that I spent with her, and it was simple. It was the living room, sitting in front of her in the chair, having her rub lotion on my back or my feet, or snuggling up next to her in the warm bed.
So I shared something I took from your grandmother in the book, and you reference a poem that Grandma cut out and left on your pillow one day. So I thought it would be great if you could share the poem that your grandmother left.
Oh, I would love to. So I figured out that it came from a magazine, and it's actually the final paragraph in Joseph Epstein's book that was written in 1980 called Ambition. And so here is the paragraph that was on my bed. "We do not choose to be born. We do not choose our parents. We do not choose our historical epoch or the country of our birth or the immediate circumstances of our upbringing. We do not, most of us, choose to die, nor we choose the time or conditions of our death. But within this realm of choicelessness, we do choose how we shall live, with purpose or adrift, with joy or joylessness, with hope or with despair, with humor or sadness, with a positive outlook or a negative outlook, with pride or with shame, with inspiration or with defeat, with honor or dishonor. We decide what makes us significant or insignificant. We decide to be creative or indifferent. No matter how indifferent the universe may be to our choices and decisions, these choices and decisions are ours to make. We decide. We choose. In the end, our own creativity is decided by what we choose to do and what we refuse to do. And as we decide and choose, so are our destinies formed."
So it sounds like to me that the poem very early, and Grandma set a mindset for you that you probably ignored for a very long time.
Oh yeah, I was mad about it.
Yeah, but you're proof in the pudding that if you say yes to yourself, you can get to be an author in a book. You can get to help people all over the world.
Yep.
So, and I commend you for that, and I thank you. I had the pleasure of reading this before it was printed, and I felt like that was a gift in itself, so thank you, Crystal.
Well, I appreciate your feedback. It's always like, what do they think?
Yeah, because
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Yeah.
So great. Well, and I encourage everybody to go out and buy the book. You can find it on Amazon. You can go to dreamweaver.consulting, or you can find Crystal on Facebook under Dreamweaver Consulting. So I challenge you to meet author Crystal Dawn Church and find your yes.